96.5 CTG, the original 70s soundtrack. And we have on the line with us, give him all of it.
Give him all of it.
We have on the line with us Peter Beckett from the band Player. How you doing tonight, Peter?
I'm doing good.
Calling in from Los Angeles.
I sure is.
Can you, our kids at home like this, we often do this when we have the celebrities live. I know you're probably not used to doing it live. We do the celebrity bumper. Did you get those little script that I sent you?
I did a minute ago. I can't find it now.
we can coach you through it and cut it up.
Hang on, I think I've got it on my computer here somewhere. Hang on.
All right, it's in an email. And for the kids at home that don't know,
I got it.
Peter's from Player. Go ahead and give it to us.
This is Peter Beckett from Player, and you're listening to the original 70s soundtrack on 96.5 CTG.
Awesome,
Perfect.
man. You beat Tommy James, man. You got it. That take was even better than his.
Tommy James? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know you're kidding. I know you're kidding.
Well, how you doing? You're calling, of course, from Los Angeles. And for the kids at home, just to give them some context, Peter Beckett was the lead singer, I would say primary songwriter and guitar player from the band Player in the late 70s, correct?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Take us back there and tell us a little bit. I think the story of how Player got together is pretty interesting in terms of how you guys auditioned.
Well, you mean with Robert Stigwood, or you mean
just
meeting?
rather than doing the whole demo thing. I mean, from what I understand, you guys went live into people's offices.
Well, yeah, it was totally different in those days. You know, we just there was J.C. Crowley, my songwriting partner, and Ron Moss. You know, Ron's he's a big actor now, but it was just the three of us, and two acoustic guitars and a bass through a pig nose, which is a little tiny amp, with like a 3-inch speaker or something.
I've had one. Mm-hmm.
There you go. And we just started. We had this guy. He was actually a lawyer, and he started setting us up with, meetings with different producers, and then we must have gone to like 10 or 12, and we just sit in their office and we play, 2 or 3 songs live. And some of them liked us, and some of them hated us. And then we got set up with. Actually, we were adding songs to that little mix all the time too. And we just finished writing "Baby Come Back," and we went into Dennis Lambert and Brian Potter's office, Haven Records, and they said, "Go on, boys, give us a couple of songs." And we did a couple of things, and then we did "Baby Come Back," and you could just feel in the room they were kind of going, hello,
That's our tune.
And, and then, after that, we went and cut some more tracks. And then after that, even, we had to still kind of audition. We did an audition for Clive Davis in the Beverly Hills Hotel Ballroom.
Wow.
And we had a band by then, and we were sounding pretty good. And, we sang, it was just him sitting in his suit with a couple other guys, and us on the stage. And we played 3 songs, and one of them was Baby Come Back. And he said, well, I like the way you look, guys, and you sound great and everything, but I just don't hear a hit, And which is, it's fair enough.
Fair enough,
yeah.
sure.
And it's not like he doesn't know what a hit is, he's like
He's Clive Davis, right?
Yeah. So we were kind of, a bit disillusioned, and then a guy called Al Corey from Robert Stigwood heard us, and he just was all over it, and mainly thanks to him, we got ourselves a #1 record.
And how
which we didn't mind at all.
No, how fortuitous for you too, because Robert Stigwood, I think, you were on that label. I guess you got signed in '77. Is that about right?
Yep.
And from '77 to '79, pretty much, you could have broken wind into a microphone and had a huge hit on Robert's label. It was blowing up. The Bee Gees were on that label. Everything that they touched turned to gold.
Yeah, it was Clapton, Andy Gibb as well, and lots of other people. It was great. Great times.
Yeah, the heydays of RSO there. So that's interesting because most people don't know. I'm a musician too. The normal gig is maybe you do a demo and you get some gigs. Of course, my Bill Hall is making fun of me and my co-host Sue Steward as well. It's all about me.
I'm not making fun of you.
No.
I'm making fun of
you. For people that aren't in the business, you don't just normally walk into somebody's office and do a showcase. You invite like an A&R guy out to like an established gig to sit in the crowd and you shop a demo. You drop a cassette on them back in those days. I thought it was just really interesting. You guys showing up in people's offices and just doing little impromptu concerts.
Well, truthfully, I don't know what's really going on in LA right now, but it doesn't seem to be an awful lot. But I went to England. I went back home to Liverpool and stayed in London for a few days, just like several months ago. And I went down to a couple of the studios that I used to work at. I outside of London, and I mean, there are kids just like sitting around in groups writing songs. They're sitting on the steps, they're in the studios, in the lounges, and they're all writing songs. There's like this whole thing going on there that I don't really see here. It was like, it was really alive.
And that's recently that you just did that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like several months ago. And it kind of fired me up a little bit. You know, the young people over there are just kind of kicking.
Yeah.
I'm glad, because all I run into are people that they don't even write songs anymore. They call them beats. I'm on this website called SoundClick, and it's basically for anybody who can't get a record deal. So I'm out there throwing elbows with these people, and they're not even really songwriters. They just write beats, and they're trying to sell you their beats for backing tracks. It's just garbage. It's terrible.
No.
Well, we're from a good time, you know, when you know, I'm not saying music's bad. There's some great music right now, you know, but I think those were the days for songwriting, you know. There was some great bands, great songs around.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll tell you something. We're doing a gig on June the 11th with Ambrosia and Pablo Cruz, which is kind of
awesome.
You know, they're kind of our peers from the day.
Sure.
And it's just the three bands. It's a charity thing, and it's going to be big fun. We're kind of hoping to turn it into like a little 70s mini tour, you know,
cool.
maybe go around,
Where is that going to be?
The first one, the charity thing is in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
June 11th. I don't really know what the venue's called. This just happened a few days ago, and they're putting it together. Yeah.
So tell us, and we've had several people on here that have had, you know, it's always fascinating to find out. I mean, what does it feel like being on the inside? The year's 1978, and it's not like today where you can watch your single go up on the internet. Somebody runs down your tour bus with a copy of Billboard in their hand, all bug-eyed, going, "Holy crap, we're number one."
Well, that's actually what happened.
Well, see, I nailed it. There you go.
No, it was a little different than that. There was a really scruffy little rehearsal studio here called Rats in Studio City in L.A., and we were in there rehearsing. You know, we had our little band together, and we had our songs, and we were going to go do some gigs, and we were rehearsing a handful of songs, and Earth Supply were in the next room. They hadn't had a hit yet. We'd never had a hit, and I think our single had been out for a while, and we went watching it. We were just kind of getting prepared to go play, and our manager came running into Rats, and he said, "Guys, Baby Come Back is number 80 on Billboard." and I think that was possibly the most exciting day of my life, you know, besides when my kid was born.
Sure.
But that was more exciting than being told it was number one, because by the time it got there, we'd kind of watched it climb.
I can relate.
And things had happened, but to have, like, something even on the charts was just amazing, you know. Yeah. And then we went and played with Gino Vanelli on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. And then they whisked us off that tour, and we went on the Silk Degrees tour with Boz Scaggs when Baby Come Back was number one. That was like an all-arena tour, and that was great. He was a great guy. Gave us a lot of fatherly advice, you know.
Well, Bill Hall's motioning in here that he actually saw that tour with the Boz Scaggs Silk Degrees tour. Yeah, he's shaking his head.
There you go.
Tell him, did you like it, Bill?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, it's funny too. You mentioned being inside that. We had some bad weather here today, and it's funny. Over the years, I have the song lyric of yours that sticks in my head. I don't know why it is, but every time there's a blown forecast, all I can think is, "I heard the weatherman predict a sunny day. He did not mean to lie. Look outside. It's flipping snowing today, dude. It's snowing in Maryland. It snowed today. It's like almost April."
Well, hey, you know, it's this is Los Angeles. It's supposed to be sunny here. We've seen nothing but rain so
I heard.
far. We've barely had in fact, my house got flooded. Like, I had like 7 inches of water in my basement and running down my stairs. I'm up in the hills, you know, and I've got this big field behind me. It was like being in Hawaii. There was a waterfall coming down the hillside into my house. It was crazy.
Yeah, you said that you had some flooding problems. Yeah, my father was a meteorologist in the 70s, and just so you know, he took great offense to that lyric. Umbrage he took there. But
you can't please them all.
No, but so you guys, so then you had, again, we made reference to another top 10 hit right out of the gate, this time A Minute for Love, which I just absolutely love, and Prisoner of Your Love, Danger in the Love Zone. We've pulled a whole lot of music. We're playing it tonight. But so then you guys do a second record, and I think you're still on Stigwood at this point, and after that is when J.C. Crowley decides to bail?
Well, I'll tell you that the timeline of it was, you know, we went on tour with Clapton. Actually, we were told that we were going on tour with Clapton, because he was also on RSO.
Sure.
And it was our second album. So we geared up like we were very Blue-Eyed Soul to begin with, and we did a little bit of, hard rock in there. And then we geared that second album knowing that we were going to be touring with Clapton. So it changed us, it changed us. And after having been on the road for a year or so, we changed. We became like a little bit more hard-edged, and the second album showed that. Personally, in retrospect, I think it was a mistake, because we were kind of like that Hall & Oates sound, and we should have stayed there.
Sure.
But we hardened up, and we kicked butt we were on the Slow Hand tour for like 4 weeks. And of course, then we came off of that tour, and we were even more of a rock band. So it became more of a power pop band, But by the time we were done, we sounded more like Foreigner than Hall & Oates.
But you're a guitar player, though. Didn't you sort of dig that a little bit as far as...
I loved it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It was me who took it that way.
Yeah, it's
I'm
funny.
just saying, in retrospect,
We were talking to Gary Wright a couple months ago, and he basically had the opposite scenario. Is like when he designed the whole Dreamweaver album, he wanted to make it all keyboards and no guitar players. He was throwing elbowing the guitar player right off the stage.
Yeah. Well, they were the keyboard days. Like I said, we went and played with Gino Vanelli. And we were all fans of Gino's. He was pretty amazing. All his brothers, all he had was keyboards.
Right.
Everything was keyboards. And there was this big town hall, and we'd never done a gig together. And we walked into the wings of the theater, and he was doing a sound check. And it was like the biggest thing I'd ever heard in my life. It was just huge,
Wow.
And we couldn't, our knees were shaking. Oh, my God, we got to go on with
After
this
that guy, yeah.
And but they were the keyboard days, It was synthesizer days.
So after that, here's something that's interesting. I've been dying to ask you this question. So you're on RSO, and then I noticed you guys switched to Casablanca, and of course I go a long way back with Kiss as a Kiss fan back in the 70s. So that was their label. And I know right around that time, I think Neil Bogart passed away and the label folded.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just just bad luck, I guess? Or, I mean, what prompted the decision?
Well, he died. I mean,
right.
I
can't get any worse luck than that.
He died in, look, I made a joke about this in my book, but it was bad taste, so I'm not going to say it on the air.
Okay. Well, we're tasteless here.
Choked, anyway. He did a mamacas, I think he choked on something.
And, not good.
I think that's how he died. But he was a real nice man, and it was nice to be on that label. They did good for us for one album. And then they folded, and that was that.
Because they were on fire then, too. Not only did they have Kiss, they were pretty much the disco label there, too. That wasn't
That's right,
RSO. They had Donna Summer, right.
Yeah.
Village People.
Yep.
Yeah, you can laugh. It's okay to laugh now. But what's fascinating to me beyond, and again, of course, Bill's going to make fun of me because I have to let you know I'm a singer, songwriter, recording musician, blah, blah, blah. But I'm a huge songwriting groupie. And so forget about, the player. When I come at this interview, I'm amazed at your work. Tell us, just the soundtrack albums that you wrote songs for in the 80s. Drop some names. We're ready to hear some.
Oh, geez, now you're catching me off guard.
Oh, no, well, I'll throw them out there for you.
I haven't thought about it in ages. I kind of, I spent, when Player split up, I did about 10 years where I did nothing but, writing for other people, movies and TV stuff, and I'd have to dig it out. St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah, Karate Kid. Yeah,
Major League, Karate Kid. There's a whole slew of them, and that was a good period for me. It was great. But then it was really weird. After that period, I had the same manager as Little River Band, and
right.
And I was, I had a whole thing going on with songwriting, and my manager, I hadn't been on the road for 10 years, and our manager, Little River Band's also, he said, "Hey, Pete, Graham Goebel's left the band. Do you want to go to Australia and tour for a month?" And I thought, well, that might be fun, so I dragged out the old leather pants, which I could barely fit into, and polished up the guitar, and I went off to Australia, and I ended up being in the band for 8 years, touring with them, which I didn't expect.
No.
Right. Well, if you're going to wear leather pants, the tighter they are, the more fun they are. I had a gig. I'll spare you the joke. I had a gig before I came in tonight. I made a joke on Facebook, but we'll move on. Being in a Little River Band, though, again, there's another one of my favorite bands, a songwriters band to me. What was the personnel line? Did somebody leave? A major member left, and you jumped in there?
Well, it was Graham Goebel.
That's right, Graham,
He was like the main writer. He wrote, Reminiscing and all that.
Right.
Glenn, the original singer, Glenn Sharrock, wrote a lot of stuff. He wrote Cool Change.
And Lady.
And Lady and stuff like that. I think he wrote that with Graham. But when I joined the band, Glenn was still there, the original. There was a lot of original guys still in the band.
Sure.
And just Graham had left. And then over the years, the original members started leaving, you know.
Right.
And at the end of the 8 years, I say this laughingly because they're out again now, and they've got guys back, and they're great. I just saw them a while ago, you know.
Right.
But I was the only guy after 8 years that was singing anything that he'd actually sung on stage, and it wasn't even a Little River Band song. It was Baby Come Back.
Yeah.
So it got a little weird, you know, so it was time for me to kind of bail.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands out there doing that now, and it disappoints me. I know enough about music in the biz to know who was in the band. A lot of people don't know. We had Mark Farner on about a month or two ago, and some of the stories he was telling about the legal woes that he went through with Grand Funk Railroad, sort of being forced out of that band, and now Grand Funk Railroad's out on the road without Mark Farner. It's like the Police going out without Sting.
Yeah.
And they're being somewhat dishonest, I think, with the ticket buyers. You buy the ticket, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not that guy.
Well, you know, one of the years we went out for the summer, I think what would it be? Maybe, I don't know, 92 or 93. Well, I went out with Little River Band, and I think during the U.S. tour, which would have been about 3 months, I think we played with 3 different versions of Survivor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
3 different bands. You know, one was Jimmy Jameson's, the one was, another one was the guy who wrote I Have the Tiger, and I don't even know who was in the other one, but it was getting strange. There's all these bands with 3 versions.
It depends on who owns the name. We've got a big show coming up in the fall that we're hopefully getting involved with. It's America and Kenny Loggins and Creedence Clearwater Revisited, which is Revisited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but your songwriting though, I mean, is that was that rewarding to you? I mean, not financially, but I mean, did you sort of miss being out there and being on stage with a band? Because I'm a fan of actually songwriting. Well,
I'm still doing it. It's like I'm always writing songs, and we can't go out a whole lot as play. We have the best lineup of player right now that we've ever had, and we go out some weekends. We do the odd casino. Our bass player Ron, he's on TV every day, so you know he can't go out that much. He's on the Bold and the Beautiful. He has been for 26 years, and but we've been doing the odd thing. We just did a big gig in Palm Springs for the PGA West. We've got a couple of things each month. We've got this thing in Austin, and then we've got some other thing in Atlanta coming up. Not a whole lot, just a gig or two a month, and it's enough for us. And other than that, I'm writing all the time. I'm always looking for young acts that I like.
I'm 45, dude.
Is that young enough? 45?
I'm 45.
No, you're over the hill, dude.
No. If I hadn't made it by now, I'm not. Look, I tried.
You know what? That's great because nobody's been honest.
Get a cowboy hat.
I tried. Yeah, well, look, I'm number 1. I have a song on SoundClick that's number 1 on the country charts today. SoundClick, of course, is the place where people who aren't good enough to get a record deal go. So I'm like, out of those people, I'm the best, I guess. But I tried to get a part in Tommy James's movie. They're doing a movie on his book, and he told me. In one breath, he says, I'm too old. And then he mentions Val Kilmer. It's like, well, hey, look, newsflash, Val Kilmer's 51, buddy. But seriously, though, I mean, you're out in Hollywood, and I guess you've been probably out in L.A. for at least 30 years. But you and Ron both, and Sue's a female. She's commented on. And I noticed, I'm a dude, but I noticed, dude, you look great. I'm not trying to get all gay on you or anything, but
you don't have to. I can speak up.
Are you like drinking vampire blood or something, or what?
Tiger's blood. Tiger's blood.
There you go.
I'm winning.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I can't believe he just referenced that.
Yes. He's surfing on a Mercury surfboard.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Ronnie and I, Ronnie's just got great genes. I have to work out a lot just to kind of stand next to him.
Yeah, but I mean, like say, I'm not trying to get all cream puff on you, but you're looking good yourself there, buddy. And
well, thank you.
You have a son that's the same age as like my son, I think. You have like a 9 or 10-year-old.
Yeah, he's 9.
Wow. Yeah, see, my son's going to be 9 in July, and I get funny looks at PTA meetings like I'm too old. So you're the man. We like that. You are the man.
Well, having said the man, now I have to get this to you. I have this new project.
Yes, we want to hear about it.
It's actually kind of funny. I had this idea in the back of my head a while ago, and I just sat down one day. I never did anything with it. It was, I had a house in Nashville that, I'd go down to Nashville once in a while. I don't have it anymore. And I just started to listen to country a lot more. And there's some great music in country music.
Absolutely.
It's heartfelt. The lyrics are great and everything. And,
Sure.
not all of it, like everything. But I do listen to it quite a lot. And so I wrote this ballad, and it kind of sounds like a real country ballad, big voice thing, And then I started messing with this riff. And you get a laugh out of this. And I started doing this kind of kick butt riff with a violin. And so I made a little demo. And at the end of when I'd finished the song, it was called "Baby Don't Come Back."
Baby.
And I kind of wish that I'd sent it to you so you could play it. Maybe I will anyway.
You should, because we will do that. We only play 70 songs, but if you're on the show, we'll play something new from you.
Well, check it out. The idea I had going around my head is I wanted to form this band called an English country band called the Limey Cowboys. And so it's become a reality. I have a band now, and we've got 6 songs called the Limey Cowboys, and the first single will probably be "Baby Don't Come Back."
Oh my God, that's
awesome.
great!
And
no threat to Nashville,
and no threat to the Swiffers either, because they're not going to buy that one. Baby Don't Come Back. Yeah, of course. We told our listeners no Swiffer questions.
No, don't ask any Swiffer.
That is cool, though. I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, music is a business, and anytime you can place a song anywhere in a movie, in a commercial, it's got to give you a nice bump.
Yeah,
it brings heat.
Instantly recognized like
sure.
that.
Well, that Swiffer thing's it's kind of become its own thing. It's been on for a long time, and they always kind of pick something interesting. I think the first one was "Whip It Good" or something.
Right.
And then they have one every year and a half or something. They've got Heart now. I mean, they always have good songs.
Sure.
It's kind of become its own thing. It's quite lucrative. You know?
It's mailbox money. That's the best
exactly.
kind.
But the funny thing is, I don't know if they even knew when they put that out that "Baby Come Back" had already had like a Sprint. It had a SBC. It already had about 4 commercials where they used that kind of idea.
Sure.
With a guy singing to his girl on the balcony. So I don't know if they look back, but I'm not complaining. It's all good.
So you've got that project. Are you working on a new CD or anything, or?
We kind of did. We started. We had about 6 songs, and I won't get into it too much. But our guitarist died of leukemia, so we kind of threw us back for a bit then, and I started working on the Limey Cowboys thing. But we've got about 6 things in the can that are really nice. We're going to go back and dress it up and finish it off. It'll probably, we're getting a lot of pressure to do it actually, so probably by the end of this year we'll have something finished.
Is it going to be a player project or Peter Beckett solo?
Well, I might do that too. I don't know. Right now I'm real interested in this Limey Cowboys thing. I'm just going to finish that up and get it out there, and then I'll get back to the player thing. And I've already got a couple of things that sound like they could be viable. And
it's funny too you mentioned Ron, because a friend of mine, actually a personal friend of mine, she went to high school with Bobby Eakes. And
I know Bobby. Yeah,
she was of course Macy on The Bold and Beautiful, but
she's on another one now.
Yeah, she's on All My Children now. We were just discussing that this weekend, but I don't know what his shooting schedule like. I know it's a 30-minute soap, so it's probably a little lighter duty, because I know Rick Springfield was on a month or 2 ago, and he was talking about trying to tour in between shooting schedules and stuff like that. I think when he was on General Hospital, he's only able to go out on weekends and stuff like that.
Right.
Which he's another dude that's well past 60 that I wouldn't take my shirt off next to the guy at all. I actually,
I know Rick. I kind of knew him in the day, a long time ago.
Right.
Never real close friends, but we'd see each other here and there and say hi. And it was really weird. I bumped into him in Malibu. I took my kids to the beach about a week ago, and
that's where
he was getting into his car, and I was getting into mine. We kind of gave each other. He had shades on, so did I. And it was cold, so we had hats on, and I kind of looked at him, and he kind of looked at me, and we both kind of went, nah. And got in our cars.
Was he in that sweet Corvette?
No, I can't remember.
He's got the most righteous Corvette. It's an old thing that he got restored.
No, he was in some SUV.
You didn't have to get the tag number, did you?
No.
Well, look, Peter, it's so awesome to have you on tonight. Thank you so much. Like I say, your house is flooded. I know you've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're friends on Facebook now, so hit me up with that track, and we'll totally get that on the air for you.
Absolutely.
Will do.
All right, thanks, dude.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
All right, have fun, man.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All righty there. Peter Beckett. What do you think, Sue?
Woo!
Nice. I think I need to go to Malibu.
I think you do too.